For centuries, vampires have been at war with the werewolves, also known as lycans. When the vampires finally kill the lycan leader Lucian, the surviving lycans scatter around the world. There aren't many of them left, so the vampires think they have the upper hand and the war could be won soon. However, the older lycans evolve with time and are now able to change at will, becoming more powerful. In the present, two vampires are tracking two lycans at the subway station. Celine and Rigel are death dealers, which means they're vampires that were specifically trained to kill werewolves. Lycans Reyes and Trix are stalking a human surgeon named Michael, who notices Celine before he gets on the train. When Reyes is about to reach Michael, he suddenly freezes because he senses vampires nearby. He yells to warn Trix and both lycans immediately open fire. Rigel runs to hide behind a column, but when he tries to fire back, he gets shot in the shoulder. Celine watches in horror as the bullet glows in him, burning his body from the inside. As most civilians run to leave the station, Celine joins the gunfight too. Both sides shoot without caring about their surroundings and Trix ends up accidentally hurting a woman. As vampire Nathaniel enters the station to join the fight, Michael runs to help the wounded lady and Trix uses the chance to grab him, only for Celine to shoot him down. Trix decides to escape by running down the tunnel, so Celine jumps through the train window to chase after him. A silver bullet hits him in the shoulder and he has to take it out before he keeps running. At the same time, Reyes runs out of bullets and tries to escape, but Nathaniel tackles him through the train door. Reyes pushes him off before changing into his wolf form, which allows him to kill Nathaniel in seconds. Back to Celine, she follows a trail of blood deeper into the tunnel and Trix tries to surprise her from behind, but she reacts quickly and fires back. This time she manages to shoot him enough times to finally kill him. When Celine checks Trix's gun, she notices that all the bullets glow. At that moment Reyes appears behind her, so she throws a bunch of bladed discs at him before running. She enters a different tunnel and is surprised to hear some growling followed by cheering. It turns out there's a lycan den hidden here. Before Celine can investigate, Reyes catches up to her, so she has to leave. In the den, people are cheering for a pair of lycans who are combating in their wolf forms. Suddenly Lucian bursts in and shoots his gun in the air to stop the fight. The lycans go back to their human forms while Lucian scolds them for acting like rabid dogs. At the vampire manor, Celine shows the glowing bullets to Weapons Master Khan. He concludes that the bullets are laced with ultraviolet radiation, which means the lycans found a way to weaponize sunlight. Celine tells vampire leader Craven that she saw a lycan den, but Craven doesn't believe there are enough lycans left to make a den. Afterward, Celine visits the tomb where an elder vampire named Victor is currently hibernating. Erica comes to tell her to stop wasting time and get ready for the party. Instead, Celine checks out the security cameras in the station and finally notices that the lycans were stalking a human. When she tells Craven this, he doesn't take her seriously. At the lycan's den, scientist Singe takes a blood sample from a human prisoner and mixes it with lycan blood, but the results are negative. At that moment, Reyes comes back with Trix's body. Unfortunately, Singe explains that the silver bullets have penetrated his organs, so Trix can't heal him. Lucian is angry to hear that they lost Michael and announces he'll have to do the job himself. At the hospital where Michael works, two cops keep asking about him since they think he was involved in the shootout. Meanwhile, Celine breaks into Michael's apartment and looks for clues. When Michael arrives, Celine grabs him by the neck and asks him why they're looking for him. Suddenly a group of lycans bursts through the ceiling, so Celine opens fire, and Michael uses the chance to run away. Celine tries to go after him, but he closes the elevator on her face. When the lycans come for her, Celine shoots at them and does some damage, but it isn't enough to stop them. She then shoots a circle around her to break the tiles and fall on the next floor. At the lobby, the elevator opens and Michael finds Lucian. At that moment, Celine arrives and opens fire, so after getting hit a few times, Lucian tackles Michael and bites his neck to take as much blood as possible. Celine then grabs Michael and drags him away, but Lucian already has the sample he needs. After putting Michael's blood in a vial, Lucian concentrates to eject the bullets from his body. Celine gets Michael in her car and drives away, only for Lucian to suddenly jump on top of the vehicle. He starts stabbing the roof with a big blade and slashes Celine's shoulder. She stops the car to make him fall, then drives ahead to run him over. Lucian makes a jump to save himself and lets them go. Moments later, Michael tries to point out that Celine has lost tons of blood and should stop the car, but she just points her gun at him. Like he predicts, she ends up passing out and the car loses control. It flips on the road and falls into the river. Michael uses Celine's gun to break the window and brings her body to the surface. After reviving her with CPR, he uses his jacket to bandage her injury. At the lycan den, Lucian gives Singe the blood sample. After a quick test, they confirm that Michael is the person they've been looking for. Eventually, Michael falls asleep and has a strange dream about an ancient tragedy in the vampire manor. When he wakes up, he is in the manor with Celine, who is called to Craven's office. He's furious because she disobeyed orders and brought a human to the house. While they argue, Erica checks on Michael and notices the bite mark, which causes her to launch herself to the ceiling and hiss. Michael is terrified and escapes by jumping through the window. The painful landing causes him to have those visions again. Hearing the guard dogs coming, Michael climbs over the front gate to run away. When Craven learns that the prisoner is gone, he slaps Celine. Afterward, Celine deals with her frustration by practicing at the firing range. Khan brings her a new weapon and she's impressed by the resulting bullet holes dripping liquid silver nitrate. If a lichen gets shot with this new bullet, the silver will inject itself into their bloodstream, so they won't be able to eject it. Celine can't stop thinking about the powerful lichen she saw earlier and wonders if Craven's story about killing Lucien is really true. Meanwhile, Craven secretly meets with Lucien and reminds him of their deal. He was supposed to lie low, not let his wolves fight vampires in public. Lucien grabs him by the neck and reminds him that he almost killed him once, so Craven would be nothing without him. At the manor, Celine breaks into the library and reads about the history of the war between vampires and lichens. Craven was the only survivor of a vampire group that attacked Lucien's fortress. As proof of his victory, Craven brought back a piece of Lucien's skin. The mark on that skin matches the necklace she saw on the powerful lichen earlier. On her way out, Celine is approached by Erica, who tells her that Michael was bitten by a wolf. At the hospital, Michael tells a coworker about the injury and the visions. His friend promises to help and leaves the room, only to come back with the cops. Michael sees them and escapes by breaking a window. Desperate for answers, Celine returns to the tomb and sends the guard away with a silly excuse. Then she opens the tomb and pours her blood into Victor's coffin, hoping to wake him up ahead of time. Her blood explains that she needs his guidance and shares the details of what happened. Before she can get an answer, the guard comes back, so she closes the tomb again and hides. At that moment, Michael appears outside the manor and asks for Celine. She rushes to meet him while ignoring Craven's threats. While Celine and Michael leave in the car, Erica tells Craven that Michael is a lichen. At that moment, Victor wakes up and scolds Craven for not leading the coven well in his absence. He wants another sleeping elder to be awakened too, but Craven explains that Victor has been woken up ahead of schedule. They need to wait for the council's arrival tomorrow to complete the ritual. During the car ride, Celine tells Michael about the ancient war. Usually humans die an hour after being bitten by a vampire or a lichen because the viruses they transmit are deadly. All the visions Michael has been seeing are memories passed to him through the bite. The duo makes it to an abandoned building that the vampires use for interrogations, and Celine shares some cloned blood with Michael. It turns out the vampires own the company that produces it. Then Celine tells him that she hunts lichens for revenge because when she was a child, she had to listen to her whole family getting butchered by the wolves. It was Victor who saved her and made her a vampire. She says that the werewolves started the war, but she doesn't know the details. In return, Michael explains that he lost his fiancée in a car crash. When Celine is about to leave, Michael tries to go with her. They share a kiss and Celine uses the chance to handcuff him to a chair. She points out that tomorrow there will be a full moon and he'll probably transform into a flesh-eating beast, so she leaves him a gun with a single silver bullet. It won't kill him, but at least it'll delay the transformation. At the manor, Celine punches Craven and goes to see Victor, who is angry because he's been awakened early. Celine explains the coven is in danger, but Victor thinks they're just silly theories and that she's been tainted by the lichens. The council will judge Celine for breaking the rules, and until their arrival, she's locked up in the manor. Afterward, Craven announces that the council will be picked up by his team instead of Khan's, which is suspicious. At the station, the train with the council and Elder Amelia arrives and Craven's men exchange a signal with the guards. A group of lichens suddenly lands on top of the train and attacks the council while Craven's men watch without lifting a finger. Soon all the vampires in the train are being massacred. At the manor, Erica cuts the power and the alarm goes off. She then frees Celine and even gives her a gun. While Celine drives away, Erica tells Craven that she escaped, hoping to get her in trouble. Khan is worried about the council's delay and sends his men to investigate. At the train station, Reyes takes Amelia's blood. In the city, Michael wastes the silver bullet by shooting the chain, but it doesn't work. He's starting to lose his mind as the visions keep overwhelming him. Soon Celine returns to the building, only to discover that lichens have been following her. She rushes to uncuff Michael, and when she hears the enemy getting closer, she opens fire at them through the door to quickly bring them down. Then she shoots the window and makes Michael jump out while she keeps fighting the lichens. Michael is shocked to land perfectly on his feet like an animal, but unfortunately at that moment the cops find him and take him away. Celine sees the car driving off before checking the lichen bodies for survivors. In the police car, Michael sees the full moon and starts to transform in a very gruesome way. The cops quickly pull over and give him an injection that prevents him from transforming. In the manor, Victor has fully recovered and hears Craven talk about Celine believing in some weird conspiracy. They're interrupted by Celine arriving with Singe, and she hurts him to force him to talk. Singe tells the story of Alexander Corvinus, a warlord from the 5th century who survived the plague that ravaged his village. His body made the virus mutate and transformed Alexander into the first immortal. Eventually he had 3 children. One was bitten by a wolf and became the first lichen. The second one was bitten by a bat and became the first vampire. The third one lived as a normal human. Michael is a descendant of the third son, so his blood could be the key to fuse lichen and vampire blood. This would create a hybrid stronger than both races. The plan is for Lucien to fuse his blood with Michael's and Amelia's to gain that new power. When Victor says that Lucien is dead, Singe confirms that Craven lied. Knowing that he's in trouble, Craven escapes in his car. In the train station, the vampires find the massacre and call the manor with a report. Khan informs Victor that Amelia has been drained dry, and a furious Victor kills Singe. He apologizes to Celine for doubting her and orders her to eliminate Michael. At the Lycan den, Lucian takes a blood sample from Michael, who notices the Lycan's necklace. The visions become clearer and Michael watches how in the past, Lucian was chained and forced to watch his vampire lover be executed in the sunlight. When Victor entered the room to retrieve the vampire's necklace, the full moon came out and Lucian managed to transform. He broke the chains, took the necklace, and ran away. When Michael snaps out of it, he tells Lucian what he saw. Lucian explains that the Lycans used to be the vampire slaves, forced to guard their tombs during the day. He fell in love with Victor's daughter but Victor didn't approve of their relationship. His original plan was to kill them both but Lucian escaped. A furious Victor started the war against the Lycans to get revenge. At that moment Craven arrives with his men and complains about Lucian breaking their deal, however Lucian assures him that the plan to get a peace treaty is going well. At that moment Celine enters the den with a vampire team and they throw a grenade to bring down the Lycan guards. Craven starts fearing for his life so he shoots Lucian with a nitrate bullet and leaves. While Celine's team keeps killing Lycans to advance through the den, Reyes finally comes back and finds Lucian dying on the floor. He also sees Craven's men trying to leave and immediately goes after them. He throws the team leader into the water and the vampire fights back with whips. Reyes transforms into his wolf form to be able to survive the hits until he gets close enough to kill. As the fight continues in the neighboring room, Lucian wakes up and tries to eject the nitrate from his blood to no avail. Celine hears a noise and leaves her team to investigate. Suddenly she's chased by two Lycans at the same time, so she runs into a different tunnel and jumps over a wolf while shooting it to death. Then she reloads her gun just in time to kill the second one too. Khan and his men also kill a Lycan that tries to take them by surprise, only for another one to appear on the opposite side and kill them all. Meanwhile Craven finds a ladder and tries to leave the den, however he's forced to go back when he sees Victor arrive. The elder vampire soon finds Reyes and quickly kills him with his sword for what he did to his people. When a Lycan is about to attack Michael, Celine quickly shoots the beast down. Then she frees Michael and they kiss, which is seen by Lucian. The couple tries to sneak away while avoiding the fight, only to find Craven blocking their way. Craven shoots Michael with the nitrite bullets and reveals that it was Victor who killed Celine's family, not the Lycans. It turns out Victor hated feeding on livestock like the other vampires did, so once in a while, he went out to hunt humans in secret. He only spared Celine because she reminded him of his daughter. When Craven is about to shoot Celine, he's interrupted by Lucian stabbing his leg. Lucian then tells Celine to bite Michael to save him and transform him into the ultimate hybrid. While Celine bites Michael's neck, Craven shoots Lucian several times to kill him for good and runs away. At that moment Victor enters the room and pushes Celine off before throwing Michael through the wall. When Celine confronts him with Craven's story, Victor confirms it's true and takes the necklace back from Lucian. He explains he did love his daughter, but he had to kill her because she had been pregnant with Lucian's child. Meanwhile the combination of 3 types of blood gives Michael a completely new kind of transformation. He's so powerful that he can keep up in a fight against Victor. They exchange many blows but unfortunately Victor has more experience and control of his powers, so he knocks Michael down. 3 vampires arrive to help their master and start shooting at Michael, so Celine runs to neutralize them all and Victor responds by striking her. Then Victor and Michael clash again and the elder manages to hold the beast in a chokehold. At that moment Celine sees Victor's sword on the ground and uses it to cut his head in half. Terrified of this power, the surviving Lycans escape into the shadows. After Michael transforms back into his human body, Celine picks up the necklace and the couple leaves together. In the manor, Singe's blood drips down into the other coffin and wakes up the second sleeping vampire. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.